So my dear students, today we are going to cover the theory behind this week's experiment, that is the venturimeter. So what is venturimeter? A venturimeter is a device which is used for measuring the rate of flow of the fluid through a pipe or discharge through a pipe. So the basic principle on which the venturimeter works is that by reducing the cross-sectional area here, a pressure difference is created and the measurement of pressure difference enables the determination of discharge through the pipe. We will see in more detail how it's going to happen in the upcoming slides. So this is the setup. As you see, we are going to talk more about the components of this venturimeter soon. You see, this is the inlet section. So from where the pipe, the water is coming. This is the throat or the reduced area, and this is the gradually divergent cone. You see, this is the angle 20 degree, which means it's a rapidly decreasing cross section, where this is gradually divergent cone. This arrangement is done so as to reduce the loss of energy during the transitions. We'll later learn in the pipe flow why changing cross sections results in loss of energy, but that will come later. So the diameter of the inlet section is same as that of the pipe. A short pipe known as the convergent cone. You see here this convergent cone here, this one here. This convergent cone tapers from the original size of the pipe to that of the throat. Throat is this. You see, this is the throat. So throat is a short parallel sided tube having its cross-sectional area smaller than that of the pipe. Now the divergent cone that we were talking, this is the divergent cone. You see, this is the divergent cone. The divergent cone is a gradually diverging pipe with its cross-sectional area increasing from that of the throat to the original size of the pipe. The pressure taps are provided at the inlet section, that is section 1 and section 2. So pressure taps are there at section 1 and section 2 so as to measure the pressure here, because this venturimeter works on the principle of Bernoulli's equation. We will go into the analysis section very shortly. So the analysis based on the Bernoulli's equation is, you see, this is section 1 and this is section 2. Right? So we say let A1 be the cross-sectional area at this section 1 and A2 be the cross-sectional area at this section 2. The pressure and velocity values at these sections be denoted by P1, V1 and P2 and V2. So assuming the flow to be incompressible, and we also said that the arrangement is done so as to reduce the energy loss between the sections 1 and 2. So in this particular case, we can apply the the Bernoulli's equation between section 1 and section 2, and while doing that, we can write the equation as P1 by rho g plus V1 square by 2g plus Z1 is equal to P2 by rho g plus V2 square by 2g plus Z2. This is the main equation of Bernoulli's equation between the sections 1 and 2. See, you see there's a term called Z1 and Z2. We also assume that the venturimeter is horizontal. That means the datum is same for them. Therefore, we can assume Z1 is equal to Z2 because the pipe is horizontal pipe. Therefore, the equation 1 will become P1 by rho g plus V1 square by 2g is equal to P2 by rho g plus V2 square by 2g. Z1 and Z2, since they're equal, they cancel out each other from equation number 1. Now this equation number 2, this equation can be rearranged into, so you bring this P2 this side and V1 that side. P1 by rho g minus P2 by rho g is equal to V2 square by 2g minus V1 square by 2g. Now this is the difference between the pressure head at section 1 and 2. So P1 by rho g minus P2 by rho g. This is the difference between the pressure heads. Pressure heads we were measuring from the pressure tap. And this is denoted by H. Therefore, this equation number 3 can be written as H. Because we wrote P1 by rho g minus P2 by rho g as H. V2 square by 2g minus V1 square by 2g. So one thing that comes to your mind is that how do we relate V1 and V2? And for relating that, we should apply equation of continuity between section 1 and 2, which says that A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. Since we assume the incompressible flow, meaning rho 1 is equal to rho 2. And this is the theoretical discharge. Q theoretical is nothing but A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. Right? Now the values of V1 and V2, if we substitute V2 or V1 using this equation in others form, either we write V1 in terms of V2 or V2 in terms of V1. So we can write V1 as Q theoretical by A1 or V2 is Q theoretical by A2 from this equation number 5. Or we could have also have done A1 V1 by A2 is equal to V2. Anyways. Now, if we use the above expression of V1 and V2, so this expressions V1 and V2 in equation number 4, we are going to get H is equal to Q theoretical square by 2G multiplied by 1 by A2 square minus 1 by A1 square. That you can verify on your own. Or, simplifying it further in terms of QTH, we get Q theoretical is A1 A2 under root 2GH divided by under root A1 square minus A2 square. This is the theoretical discharge. So this is a very important. This you will be using also in your experiments. However, in actual practice, there's always some loss of energy as the fluid flows through a venturimeter. We will see also, we'll derive later as well that when the water flows through a pipe, there's energy loss. That is called the major loss. But that means some energy will be lost. So in actual practice, the theoretical discharge is actually higher. In practical, it will be lower. So hence the actual discharge is always less than the. So okay, so there's a mistake here. So the actual discharge is always less than the theoretical discharge here. Yeah. So actual discharge is obtained by multiplying the theoretical discharge by factor CD, which is also called the coefficient of discharge. So coefficient of discharge is the ratio between the actual discharge and the theoretical discharge. Hence the actual discharge to the ventimeter Q is given by, so nothing but CD multiplied by the discharge.